childhood trauma, and
Right.
and also they imitate what they are exposed to, and you have been very forthcoming, not only forthcoming in your book, but you also had expressed that you recognized how fucked up you were, and you
Right.
went and sought out therapy and help to
Yes.
understand, and you didn't come to realization to even understand what was going on in your childhood until you, by you
I
telling
was,
us this, by
yeah, well,
when
I
you
was in
went
the
to the
military.
army, when you
Yeah, I
went to the
was, yes.
military, and you know, to throw a dagger at you, you know, it's one thing a person having, you know, going through what you gone through, and not accept any accountability,
Right.
responsibility, and by you, and accountability and responsibility for you is, I'm going to tell my truth, even though it's horrid and ugly and people might not like it, or, you know, we all got our own trauma or being abused in our own childhoods, you know, but people aren't getting that point, that what makes you different is that you acknowledge what happened with you, what happened with your mom, what happened within your family, and how you ended up doing those things. But the most important part is that you didn't just sit on it and continue to go out here, and copying and redoing and victimizing other people. You went and got help,
Thank,
professional help,
thank
you
you.
know?
Yes.
So I think it's wrong for someone to want to throw the dagger at you and try to hold that over your head like you're just a piece of shit, because you was the kid that was being victimized
Right.
and traumatized the same at the same time. And I'm gonna use those two words again. You held yourself accountable, and you held yourself with responsibility about it.
You know
I'll end
what?
there, and thank you for letting me speak.
Messy boot. It means a
Great
lot.
submission.
Yeah. Hey, what you say, Carl?
Great submission.
Oh yeah, very good. I mean,
Absolutely.
you came
Absolutely.
right out. That's the type of stuff. It's even healing for me because you all, you know, I'm glad to see my partner up here, a re-up in there. Re-up allowed me to. She dropped. I'm gonna let re-up tell it because he was there when she dropped something else, and a lot of people who didn't know that I could go off, they experienced me. I had to go out, Joe. I had to go outside, man. It caught me off guard, man. And you know, and it hurt me because the person came in and dropped my business and said, ain't gonna tell me, it's mine because I read it and I bought the book and I'm gonna drop it. Hey, Re-Up, how you doing, man? I want to acknowledge Re-Up for coming in here, you know, and also want to acknowledge TS for coming in here. I just want to acknowledge all of you all. It means much, social audio. Oh my God, I feel so honored and everything. All of you all coming in here to this space and everything, and the real Lisa, you know, Negro, all of y'all. I'm 27, man. Thank you all for coming here. But I want to handle this. I am going to play this audio, but I want to get Re-Up to speak to this for me because if it wasn't for Re-Up, if he didn't give me the space when everybody else threw me off the island and everything, if Re-Up, if you didn't give me the space to allow me to have a voice, because everybody else was throwing me off the island, and Carl, you witnessed it. No one, they would throw me off the island, would not allow me to speak, would not allow me to participate because they misunderstood me. But I owe a lot. So TS want to know why I honor you so much because, brother, you was the only one that allowed me to have a voice when everybody else, spicy corn, yeah, thank you for being. But you were the only one. Your space was the only one when everybody was throwing me out, throwing me under the bus and everything. You're the only one that allowed me to have a voice. So go ahead, Re-Ups. Bless me with the presence, bro.
What's going on? Yeah, y'all go ahead and retweet space. Send the link out. Yeah, I think that's just it. It's probably lessons we learn from all people, and if you put it in a book, I think you put it out there to actually do that, right? It's a
Yes.
lesson to be learned out of it. So I think that's what you get out of it. No matter how people try to, paint their own narrative for their own reasons, right? So you tell your story, you preach the lesson that you learned, and hopefully you could that message resonate and reach other people. You get that out there. Huh?
Yeah, I appreciate you coming up and giving your words. And anybody else, because I want to see how many people show up. I got the audio chimed up for the, my whole point is I'm not
Let
here.
me let me say this, you know, I just, man, I'm appalled. Honestly, I'm gonna use that word. I'm appalled that someone would try to, you know, take your stuff out of context. I mean, because the ridiculous thing is you can just literally just get the book and you see all the facts. Anybody who want, I mean, if 99 cents, or buy, I got the hard copy sitting right here in front of me, so you can get the book and you can figure it all out. But you drop so many jewels in the way that you speak to the masses, because you tell stories of true life situations. So even as you've told so many stories, especially during your time in military, you check different brothers that was around you. You would not allow people to do ridiculous things around you. Like you told your one military partner, "Hey, bro, don't ever bring me back to your house." You know what I mean? Because of what happened with his wife
He's out
coming
there
and
cheating on his wife. Got me gonna bring me in his house, and his wife shows
So-
up and asks for it. Don't do that to me, bro.
So I mean, you've told too much that makes so much sense, that has been so much jewel dropping to teach, that there's no way that you could be of such foul nature as one would try to perpetuate with, a strategized, verse drop like Culture did. You know what I mean? To just strategically try to sit there and drop something without context. I mean, that's witchcraft, bro.
What you said. Hey, well, go ahead, Carl. No, Carl actually, I don't know how many people actually read my book. By thumbs. Anybody who all has read my book? Thumbs. Anybody read or listened to my book? Who all of them? Who's the only person? I know Joe. I know Carl. I think Messi. I don't know who all have read or listened to my book already, but I know Carl has. Go ahead, Carl. What's your take in your immediate when you think about someone going to drop my stuff out there in the manner that they did?
Well, me, Sean, I have a signed copy of your book. I just want to say I appreciate your transparency that you brought forth in the book, and the foresight that you brought in the understanding of the color construct. This is Twitter. This is X. It's some unscrupulous people on this app. So again, I'm looking forward to you clearing your name, so others can understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So, hey, Joe, go ahead and do an introduction of who we are, man, and where we come from before I go ahead and drop this audiobook. The audiobook I'm going to play is right from here. I want to honor my brother. Title of my book, I'm Not Your Black America. I paid for a voice actor, Michael Spencer, to speak for me. Y'all wouldn't want me to read my book. I already knew that. I wouldn't even gonna clown like that. Okay. I would have got someone to read my book for me and everything. I see, I think Spicy Corn want to come up and everything. Just a minute, Spicy Corn. So I want everybody to understand that it's skeletons. It's just one chapter out of my book. But this skeletons is about all of us got skeletons. Who ain't got no skeletons? Okay. But I really like the young lady that came up and spoke and said, and Messy Boots and everything. She was spot on. I needed to drop it as therapy for me. No matter who, even the person that I talked to, counselor that talked to me, said, "Hey, me, Sean, when I told them I was going to write a book and do that, they said, I think that will be best for you." And my ghostwriter who helped me, I didn't even drop. My ghostwriter even told me, "Sean, look at here, dude. Don't drop that. Don't drop this. You done dropped enough. Don't drop. He said, let some of it be a mystery and let get there, bro. He said, man, your book, your story is like a movie, bro. Don't drop it all in it. So as much as I have dropped in, I didn't even drop it all. Okay. It was just felt good to get off what I able to get.
It's two places in the U.S. that they say is the wildest and the craziest, or the wildest and craziest people come from. When you talk about terrible environments growing up in, it's New York, and where else? Florida.
Okay,
So,
yes. Look,
you know,
you gonna clown on Florida? You go home, our hometown, right?
Hey, I mean, it's our hometown. I mean, but I'm saying, some of the crazy, and it's true. I mean, you listen to the news, man. It's like New York and Florida always got crazy stuff popping off. But real quick, just to speak on this, it's Mr. Just Ask Joe and Uncle Me Sean. This is I Ain't Your Black. This is the podcast that offers healing, insights, and epiphanies, discussing and reviewing everything others are afraid to talk about.
This is the podcast that offers
It's
healing,
all about
insights,
what
and
is right for
epiphanies,
us. I
discussing
ain't your
and
new
reviewing
black.
everything
I
others
ain't
are
your old
afraid to
black.
talk
I
about.
ain't your
It's
future
all
black.
about what is
America,
right for
I ain't
us.
your
I ain't
black.
your new black.
So, right now, it's the host of I Ain't Your Black, Mr. Just Ask Joe, and Uncle Me Sean.
I appreciate it, bro. Go ahead, fight the tone, drop it. Hey, you honor me, man. I feel. Oh, I wish I could bow, and I already have my three up here. Hey, go ahead, start. You want to be him?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, we going through a whole book, half the book, we going straight to the meat and potatoes?
Nah, we gonna just do skeletons, man. I'm gonna just drop skeletons. I think skeletons gonna go right into the meat and potatoes. So each and every one of you skeletons. Yeah, that's the title. Yeah. Just the title to tell you that I was dropping some stuff, man. It's my skeletons. Come on, Spicy Corn. You got some skeletons too, right? I know you do. All right. Right? You got some skeletons, right? You want everybody out there knowing your business. But I dropped it for reasons. And I'm glad that I dropped it. It's been a blessing to me. It's been a healing. It's also seemed to be a healing to everybody else. So, further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start this this audio, and it is called Skeletons.
We just have to stand and face them when they come, no matter what sort of state. Skeletons. But in life, we don't.
Get everybody here.
To choose.
Give me thumbs up. Everybody can hear.
We just have to stand and face them when they come, no matter what sort of state we're in. Darren Chan. Skeletons in the closet. You've probably heard this phrase. It's bandied around pretty regularly, carrying the implication of something shameful or unwholesome, hidden away by an individual who wants to be distanced from it. But we all have our skeletons, and they all define us. Whether they're strung out in the closet or not is immaterial. The skeleton is the most important part of the human anatomy. The skeletons in our life are likewise vital frameworks for the rest of us. Perhaps the terminology occurs to me because I'm in the surgical profession. It's a strange thought, but most of my work as a surgical technologist for the past 40 years boils down to catering to things that are defined, shaped, or housed by the human skeleton. The skeletons I refer to now are not dissimilar. Our lives are defined, shaped, and interred with these skeletons. Be they events, memories, or traumas, we can never live a life free of them, even if we wish to bury them. For years, I tried to rid myself of these skeletons that haunt me, facelessly grinning phantoms of the past, the unforgettable images burned into my mind. But we cannot escape. So, instead of running from them, let's talk about my skeletons. I already mentioned one of these. That is to say, me being molested by a family member as an infant. Uncle Solomon is my first skeleton, the first one I encountered. Even in the cradle, this skeleton was horrific enough to change my entire life. Due to it, My conception of the parent God was irrevocably tarnished, mollified. I was lost like a planet out of orbit, like the Earth sent hurtling through space with the disappearance of the sun. My anchor had been uprooted. Sexual assault, even when faced at such a young age, can have an adverse impact on future relationships. When abused children get into adult romantic relationships, they often fall prey to depression or anxiety and lose their sense of self-respect. They may even cease to have any sexual desires or, conversely, get a high sexual drive. But no matter the overall impact of the act, one thing is for certain: there's no going back. This is the key thing about skeletons in general. They do not allow a return. They do not allow you to sample some trauma, heal, and then return to a place of blissful ignorance. You can unlearn, but you can never undo. You can change your conception of the past, but never the past itself. You can change your way of dealing with or seeing the skeleton, but you can never get rid of its rattling bones. The skeleton wants to be heard. It wants to be remembered. Leave the skeleton in the closet and you'll find yourself lying awake at night thinking of nothing but the closet and its contents. Repression is a natural response to trauma, but is it really the right answer in the long term? No. We must confront our skeletons and accept their existence. The only way to move past is to not turn back. The next skeleton in my life was my parents, or specifically, my mother. Growing up, my mother took the place reserved for God. Even though the illusion of the parent God had been shattered for me in principle, in practice, she continued to play the role, even though my mind could not revolve around her with the same heartwarming awe other children hold for their mothers. I continued to physically depend on her. This complicated my feelings greatly because even though I was mentally distanced from her often, this could not be reflected materially. My mother played the parent God, but the role she played was not the natural one. The parent God is meant to be God's viceroy in the child's life, the physical manifestation of God's love for the infant. By sheltering, caring for, and generally working to their child's benefit, the parent assumes the mantle of pseudo-divinity, but only in God's name, like a religious cross or ornament, which isn't holy itself, but assumes religious gravity because of what it represents. My mother, on the other hand, was the sole monarch in her sphere of influence, namely me. Little Mishorn was growing up in a world without God, even though it was for the best that I grew up without the presence of Black churches in my life. I was very much sheltered from the very concept of God. It would be years before I found him. So, there was no divine authority behind lone parent God that controlled my life. And the godless king has no option but tyranny. You can quote your Uncle Mishorn on that. In short, she played the dominant matriarch, the arbiter of the just and the unjust, and the ultimate authority behind all things. She interjected into my life when needed and remained alien from it whenever she wanted. Her presence was simultaneously intangible and oppressive, ephemeral and inescapable. You couldn't escape from her if you tried, but she was nowhere to be found when she was truly needed. Do I blame her? Not entirely. She was a lone woman doing her best. But bigger mistakes were being made. Mother. This skeleton was, in fact, a series of events, traumatic examples of open sexuality during my childhood. After my mom married my foster father, I would later learn that they were less than normal in their sexual exploits. They were embroiled in what can only be called an open relationship, but even that would imply a certain degree of method to their madness. But no, it was as openly immoral as you can imagine. They were particularly interested in swapping partners. My mother took no great pains to shelter my sister and me from this sexual openness. On the contrary, she was very upfront about explaining it to us. Living in this oversexed, dysfunctional environment, things were quite complicated. They'd be fighting and arguing one minute and indulging in something unspeakable the next. It was hardly any atmosphere to raise children, but that certainly didn't stop them. There is no way for developing children to live in this sort of atmosphere without being profoundly affected by it. And the effects this childhood had on us shame me to this very day. My parents often left my sister and me alone at home. So my sister, who will remain nameless here, and I used to be alone at home. We'd set the house up by ourselves, play and watch movies, read books, and scatter toys all over the floor as most children do. Closing my eyes, I can still see the multicolored toys spread all over the mattresses, but it's never a happy memory. Amid these innocent toys, we began to demonstrate symptoms of our very twisted upbringing. We were influenced by things we didn't understand, and my mother's negligence was beginning to show its horrific impact on her children's lives. Emulating my mother, we began to play a game. It was called Mommy and Daddy. Even recounting it shames me, but this is a skeleton I must confront. Though I would love to turn away and never think about it again, we can never go back. There is never any escape from the past. And though I will never escape the shame that still smothers my heart, it burns even more that we had our innocence and sexuality stolen from us because of our parents. Once corrupted, even slightly, innocence is a thing that destroys itself completely. We made the most innocuous of plans, yet we end up doing things we shouldn't have. Soon, we realized that what we were doing was wrong. But this was the irony. We were too innocent to know exactly how wrong it was. To us, it was wrong like breaking a vase is wrong. It was wrong like any other childish misdeed is wrong. Once sullied by our mother's negligence, our innocence self-immolated, and we were left in the painful, horrific shame of our deeds, like the dysfunctional shame of Adam and Eve when they sinned and fell in the biblical narrative. I can even partially justify some of my mother's neglect as her being too busy to notice. But that isn't all. Her part in this premature debasement of our sexuality was active. Not only did she very vividly discuss the sexual nature of her relationship with her husband, she did something worse. She allowed her own children to become embroiled in this sexual mess. To put it starkly, she allowed her own daughter to have sexual relationship with her husband. Now, my sister was not genetically related to our foster father, but I hardly need to explain why I consider this relationship to be perverse. The games my sister and I indulged in were bad enough, but they stemmed from youthful ignorance and a desire to emulate the adults around us. However, this extramarital, fetishized relationship between my sister and our foster father was completely unnatural, motivated by a man's lust for a girl he should have cared for as his daughter. By this point, I was a young teen, and I was becoming uncomfortably aware of how wrong our familial situation was. When I was among our friends, they often talked about their lives. I'd stand there, tongue-tied, listening to them in silence. Obviously, I could not talk about my dysfunctional childhood with people of my age. As they talked, I discovered their childhoods to be ripe with innocence. Suddenly, I realized just how different I was from them. But since I couldn't utter a word, I withdrew into my shell instead. I'd go home afterwards, sitting on my bed, dissociated. I realized how wrong my life was. I realized how wrong my family was. There was something unhealthy and destructive about them, something that was willing to consume and ruin us all. To this day, I carry the mental trauma of the liberated childhood I lived through. I pray that no one else has to live through something like that again.
All righty. I'm not gonna play the whole skeleton thing. You got to go get the book and get the rest of it. So, um, I got to pause and just take a moment because I just shared some of the most evident. It's different. It would almost been better if y'all would all just read the book. But excuse me from laughing, but I got all of y'all to listen to this and everything. And the first thing I know, you all must think so differently of me or think whatever the case is. And, sometimes I got to deal with that. The first time I shared this with my first wife because she was the first person I married. And so on Pillow Talk, I dropped this on her. Boy, I turned, yeah, I quickly learned how wrong that was because I found out that she was not in it with me for the right reasons. And so, as we were going to get a divorce, she tried to use what I had shared with her, Pillow Talk, because I just needed to get it off with someone. You marry someone, you think you could share. Well, wow, how crazy that was. And she was going to try to use that. The bottom line is
You sure cultivate don't know your first wife?
yeah, man. She used that to give a full custody of my daughter with my first wife, and because I didn't want to go to court, she was going to drop it all in court, and she was going to bring up my father. I didn't want to do all that, so she bribed me, and I gave her full custody of my daughter to her, and it was a word. I mean, I regret that to this day because my daughter was the love of my life and everything, and she twisted that young lady against. Unfortunate, she was able to come back in my life, but only after she graduated from high school, and I got pictures of taking her to college and everything. So I did was able to get back in her life, but she alienated my daughter against me, and so a lot of crazy stuff. So anyway, anyone want to talk to me? Yeah, there it is. So this is the reason why I wanted to do this. Okay, so from this day forward, people, all of you, if you see that cultivating that she tried, you all now know the truth. Okay, each and every one of you. I'm expecting. I know I was in the space re-up. I know cultivating. She has that voice and everything, and she is manipulative and everything, but she's evil. And I know even one time I was in the space with you, I think it was early week, she had said something 3 times. She said it, and I didn't hear it. And I heard Baby try to defend me and everything, and then a lot of stuff happened and everything. And I know Baby was trying to defend me and everything, and I appreciate that, but I didn't hear it. But now you know the rest of the story. She has dropped in spaces and seen me and dropped my business out there in a manner to be evil and wrong. Now that y'all have heard it, how can a child how can I as a child be responsible for my behavior under the authority of a parent? But Messy Boots said something. I did not repeat none of that in my childhood with my children. None of my children had none of that. No experience of that. Matter of fact, and you let me tell you, I can't have children. I have adopted children. So if you a person that mess over your child, you don't want to talk to me. I'm gonna explain. I am not the guy to talk to when it comes to children. Okay, I'm just want to let you know. If you are an irresponsible person not taking care of your child, and I'm only talking to the men. I don't get into women business. I'm talking about men. If you have children out there and it's your responsibility to take care of your child and this and that, you can't bring Am I right, Joe? Am I that guy? You can't bring that nonsense to me. I'm not that guy.
That's been the conversation through the years.
I'm not that guy. I'm just not that guy. I'm not that guy. There
And simply
is
because
no
when you really
excuse.
when you really look at it, I mean, bro, you took on other people's kids.
Yes. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean,
two kids,
and when you look at your kids and what they've become in this world, you know, I mean, there was a good job that was done there, and that's quite obvious.
Yeah. Both of my children doing well. One went to Duke, one went to Western Kentucky, and I paid child support of $707 a month on a seed that I didn't even produce. Don't get me talking to you. You can't tell me about paying child support. Okay. When I paid child support on a seeding that was not necessary, I did not produce. Okay. And then a son that I influenced to help him go to Duke University. And now he's an attorney, and both of them doing well.
So much so. What's your son's last name?
Yeah. I got a divorce.
So much, you influenced him so much so
that
he changed his last name to yours.
Yes.
That right there.
It didn't even tell me. I didn't know. I didn't even know. I'm sitting on my daughter's Facebook page, and I see these little children, last name Daniels, and then nieces and nephews. I'm like, Daniels? Daniel? Who him? And my daughter said, "Oh, you didn't know. James changed his last name to yours." Oh my God. Oh my Lord, man, talking about making a difference. This young man changed his last name to mine. Didn't even tell me. Just did it. And now I got little nephews out there, last name of Daniels, only because I did not repeat what was done to me. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this. God, there it is. Hey Joe, take over, man. Call. I just got to collect myself here.
It's all good, brother. It's all good. We you know, we've been around each other, you know, for some years. You know, I have great relationships with people who have been part of groups, men's groups that we're all a part of. I do business with some of those amazing people, from Peter to Martin, you know, Adolf. We have some great brothers, some great men in general, white, black, yellow, and blue, that are part of our clique. That though we may get at each other from time to time, because we don't always agree. We can agree to disagree, but the collective among us is strong, and that's good stuff, and that's because of who you are yourself. So and I'm talking about men who whenever anyone else mentions their name and that person is not around, it's never anything negative. So that speaks to great character when you talk about the people that you surround yourself with. Got a hand up.
Yeah, I see my ancestor. How you doing, girl? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I just want to give you a shout out, give both of you a shout out. See, and this is what I'm speaking of. And they and media, the newspapers, they have the audacity to come out their mouths and talk about our Black men. You just showed an example right here and now, what you do for the community. And am I too old to get adopted? You go to Duke University too. You're awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. I love it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. And you know what's interesting about that little 7-year-old little kid? This was when he first met me. You're not my daddy. You can't tell me what to do. And I said, okay, yeah, you're right. I ain't your daddy, but I'm going to be telling you a whole lot what to do. And he told me when he first met me, James, here we are in Louisville, Kentucky, and U of L. You would think that he would want to go to U of L or Kentucky. This little shorty say he want to go to Duke. I want to go to Duke. Just the fact that I made an impression on his life. You know, we were divorced, okay? And I learned that the reason why he got into college, I mean, y'all might have heard my story. I'm the one that convinced him to stop sitting on the bench and go and find something to do. And he went and excelled and got academia. But I also heard because of the financial status of his parents, okay, and the quality of life that he lived going to a military school and everything, they interviewed him and everything, and they researched and found out the boy he was able to get in because of the status of the family that he was with. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did y'all catch that? Okay. I did not hinder this young man's dream to go to Duke. That's my point. What I'm doing to let you know. I didn't hinder his dream to go to Duke. I improved it, and I ran into some of his uncles. You know, I'm divorced from his mother. I'm remarried and everything, and they, I want to they're good guys and everything, but they they both of them brothers working at a car wash and everything. I pulled up in my Lincoln, get my car, and I didn't know, and they saw me. And they said, man, hey, yo, me, Sean, we got to tell you the story. I said, what's up, man? What's going on? He said, man, your son, James, man, he came home and everything. He was complaining about you. He said, he was? He said, man, you don't know my dad. My dad was hard. I mean, he didn't prove it. And they said, man, we gonna shut the hell up. Shut up. Shut up. We don't want to hear that. I said, what you mean? He said, man, we told him to shut the hell up. You lucky your mother married this man and you were able to go. I said, y'all peeped that? He said, man, we weren't going to let him sit up there and run you down. I mean, use y'all word. I ain't going to let him sit and run you down like that, man. Nah, his ass is in Duke, married, kids, doing well, and he going to complain about you, man. We told him, shut the hell up, man. I was so glad to hear these guys that, they down and they down luck and everything, but they respected me. And they, I consider to be a blessing that I happened to run into them and they shared that story with me and everything. I said, wow. I say, I appreciate you telling me that. So the bottom line is that each and every one of us can make a difference. So what y'all noticing here? Am I running, cultivating down, or I'm exposing her for who she is? I mean, anybody want to speak to that? Anybody notice the tactic that I'm doing here? Did you notice what I did? I just revealed who I was, where I came back. But am I running her down? I ain't run her down. I just want to expose her for the evil she is. Okay. I was told about her before I even really got to know her. And then I discovered her. And then when she discovered that I discovered about her, then she wanted to throw some salt on me to try to say some crazy stuff. And that's where we got. I'm not going to go into it all. My goal was today just for anyone or any of you be cultivating, come up on the space. I'm asking you all to represent me and check her from this day forward. Can I get a thumbs up on that? Can I just get a thumbs up? And you see Cultivate in our spaces and everything trying to act like she's one of us and doing the thing. Can I get a confirmation that y'all gonna hold her accountable? Because that's what she was trying. That's what she was trying to throw salt on me. She's trying to throw me under the bus, trying to throw my stuff out there. So that's all. That's what this is all about. I don't need to continue moving with this anymore and everything. I done what I said I wanted to do. Anybody want to come up? Hey, Riyadh, let me hear from you, brother. What you think about my audio book, man?
And after Riyadh speaks, I saw a thumbs down from Reverend D. I'm curious about that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
what Riyadh got to say.
Yeah, well, you got anything to say, Riyadh?
Yeah, I think that's some real stuff. I think that's a story you can learn from. That's some experience. When not being made content of, I think it's some lessons that can be learned from there. Many lessons you could take from there. Mm-hmm.
Reverend Damon, why are you giving me thumbs down? What is it that I'm interested. I'm interested in why you giving a thumbs down. What is it that require you to give me a thumbs down? Talk to me, brother.
Let me say this while Reverend D is coming up. We can all have difference of opinions, and we can disagree with different perspective. But being disagreeable by attacking people, that is just uncalled for. But again, I guess I'm from a different era.
The good era.
What's up, Rev?
I gotta speak on that too. I gotta say the same thing because I got the hard copy and I don't have a signature in it. So
yeah, you done been
ahead,
around. That's your fault. You done been around me too many times and everything. To not get your signed copy and everything. Hey, brother, you can get a signed copy. You go ahead and purchase it. Okay, and it's the time to unlearn to relearn.com or unclemichon.com and
No, you said you was gonna send me one.
Yeah. You know what? I did. I did say that, didn't I?
Yeah, I'm holding you accountable.
Yeah. I see. Everybody want to hold me accountable, but everybody don't want to be held accountable. You know what?
Yeah.
You told me you wouldn't. But if I remember correctly, if you wanna say that, I did ask you for your. You told me you said you didn't want to send me your address. So are you willing to send me your address now?
I'm gonna send you Reeb's address.
Reeb will have 2 copies.
So Reeb, did you hear that? Are you okay with that, Reeb?
Yeah, Reeb only 2 hours apart, so you send it to him, and then I meet up with him.
So now, if I'm gonna send it to Reeb, I guess I got to send Reeb a signed copy. Do what? See, this is what I want to know. Yeah, this is what I want to know. I'm a clown. I'm a senior copy because I said I was. But my book is on sale. Okay, and I'm giving it away for 99 cents. Okay, so I would like for people to purchase my book. It is not a charity organization or anything. I am a for-profit organization trying to do some good work in the community. My second book getting ready to drop in the holiday season of 2025. I am Messiah and everything. So yeah, I'll take care of you.
Do you see how many followers I have on my page?
Hey, bro, but you have not yet. Listen up. Now I hear you, but you have not yet. You have not yet gave me the props.
You got 99 cents.
No, I don't want him to pay 99 cents. I want him to. Now he'll pay 99 cents. I promise.
For what?
I told him that that's my audio book. I remember I said I got a partner of mine who actually he's about to be a billionaire probably next year. He interviewed me and he read my book and everything. And he said, Michon, our people don't read. They probably ain't gonna spend the money. He said, you need to give your audience. He said, since you spent that money for that author actor to read your book, man, give it away. He said, because 1 million people at 99 cents, I'm only making 36 cents. He said, that's 360,000 people, but 1 million people that would have not known your book. So I'm playing the numbers, okay? So I'm willing to give my book away.
You just send me the paperback, and then I'll read it, and then we can do an interview.
Yeah, but that's what I would prefer anyway. I would prefer it does no good to. Because I've done multiple interviews and people want to interview you. You got these people out here want to interview you and ain't read your book. And then then they want to challenge you on something that you talking about, but you ain't read my book. I don't do those interviews.
I haven't read the hard copy yet. But I listened to the audio all day long. But I bought the hard copy after purchasing and listening to the audio. It's like back in the day. It's like back in the day when we did bootleg CDs. You get the bootleg.
Yeah, I know that.
Like, you know what? This is a dope album. This is classic. I'm gonna go ahead and buy
you go and get the original. Yeah. But it's a little education for people. Told me I wasn't even trying to do the hard copy. I got educated about the hard copy. Hard copy is one of my number one, $34 a book. $34. What I found out, people who are avid readers want a hard copy. They don't want a soft copy. They want a hard copy. So I was pretty happy with the idea because I didn't even know that, people are really readers will rather prefer to put in their library a hard copy. People who just read, they do a soft copy. But the 99 cent has been a great deal because I've sold it for 99 cents. And what has happened? People have went out and purchased a soft copy, the hard copy. So yeah, but I got you and Rhea. Okay, send me the address. You gonna DM me?
Yeah, Rhea. Can you send him our address, please?
Yeah, our
When
address.
you get an
Look at
opportunity.
you.
But
afford the hard copy, but hard listen, but it's a big story, and I'm proud of you followers for even sharing your story, having the courage to do so. And
What
as the
what
title
time we
of the
gonna do?
space,
What time we gonna do our space?
yes, sir. So I put it in the comments down there.
Okay,
I put it for 7:30 tomorrow. I know you like to kind of have your stuff a little bit earlier.
7:30. Wait a minute. 7:30.
Yes,
yeah, you
sir.
gotta take his
Okay.
pill before you go to
Yeah, I
bed.
gotta take. Yeah, what pill? Yeah, I gotta take my blood pressure and my. I got blood clot and everything, so I gotta
Yes.
get out of that. 7:30 tomorrow. Okay, so
Yes, sir. So if there's anything we're gonna
hey,
be sending you
Can
extra.
Joe? Okay, Joe is my guy. Can Joe? Since we're not gonna do our show tomorrow, Joe, her show come. So my guy Joe and Carl and them, but I would
Okay,
like to
let me
have.
go ahead and follow Mr. Carl because I followed the other page. I thought that was your burner page.
And
Followers.
so
Science or Black was your burner.
Yeah, that's both, but that's Joe. Joe is my main guy and everything. So make sure you get him on there. And yeah, I'll be there 7:30, most definitely. Yeah, I'm down. I'm excited. Now, both of y'all, by the time you talk, you're gonna have the whole book done.
I'm gonna have the book finished, and I just not to that's what I was about to say. I'm losing my mind. So a few hours ago, I sent it to Boss Lady also.
Okay.
So yeah, she has it as well, and she's gonna listen to it tonight, and then we'll have the questions for you ahead of time, ahead of the space tomorrow. That way you can kind of look through the things and
Sure.
if there's anything you don't want to answer, don't want to talk about,
No,
it's up to
I'm
you.
that type of guy.
Okay.
I believe in being transparent. I believe if I'm going to be transparent, I cannot not want to answer. I'm an open book. I'm a
Well,
talk.
we certainly appreciate the opportunity to even be able to bring this up and to speak to you and to interview you because I would like to have a Q&A at the end as well for people to give their questions that they may have. But I do encourage you all to just go ahead and purchase the book. Like I think on Apple Books, I paid like $2 something for it.
Mhm.
It was not a significant amount to be worried about. So please support this brother, y'all, and they call and smack because I noticed as well every single time the stage that person grabs the mic to them a crazy name, and we don't need to allow someone to do that. Comes to this with grace. And again, I thank you, and I'm very proud and just I'm just floored at all the stuff going on. But I'm very proud of you for sharing your story.
And I'm proud of you and having the courage to take this up. And I will do you good, and I will definitely be there tomorrow.
Rhea, let me ask you. I know Boss Lady is a mod there. Is she able to put it under Rhea code or something you don't want to touch? I just want to ask you myself because I don't want to put it under that group chat. I mean, up under that community without your permission. I can rent permission to put it on the community space as well.
Hey, Rhea.
Real.
He might have stepped away from his phone real quick. Sure, he's
Real,
listening.
are you there?
Yeah, no, he might be in the car line.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds like a plan. I like a plan coming together and everything. It sounds like a good and everything. I am surprised at the Rev, though. You know, you you I expected you to say a little bit more. You know, I'm only messing with
What
you.
do you mean? Y'all been talking. I can't over talk about it.
It's all good, man.
Well,
Hey,
no. I ain't your book. I don't know who you are, brother, but you know,
that's
peace to you,
Joe. Yeah,
Joe.
that's
Peace to you, brother Joe. Peace. Um, no, I was putting the thumbs down, but I was just, you know, the toil and the focus it takes to put together a book and put your thoughts out there, put your creative juices out there for public consumption, and make yourself vulnerable. So kudos to you for that. And but I applaud you for you know, as painful and as complexing as your life has been. You know, you're still a success. And I know I mess with you in the spaces, but you're still a success story, right?
right.
Don't run from it, don't hide from it, but tell, because in telling your story, you're helping somebody else who's going through the same thing or has gone through the same thing, and can be inspired by how you have persevered and pushed through, and you know, your kids are doing great, you know, God success, bro. So no, I just wanted to give you kudos for that. How
Yeah.
many pages is your book? Like 500?
No, it's
I looked it up on like 200 something, right?
yeah, about 200 something. Yeah.
Okay.
And when you list up fair game, you know, you get my address and it's a copy of your book,
Okay, yeah, sure.
autographed copy of your
Yeah,
book, and I'm gonna do.
you can read my book while you drinking coffee in the morning.
All right.
My book is 60 pages. I know you Negroes don't like to read, so I made it easy.
Oh, so you made it light on it, right?
Oh yeah,
You made it light.
I'm about to read no 200-page book. But no, bless you, bro. Congratulations to you, and looking forward to reading your book.
Hey, Rehab, are you back?
Rehab, are you there?
He did respond to my DM, so maybe he just can't talk right now, but he said I was able to run it under Rep and Co.
Okay,
So I do
okay.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
very
Sean, my mom was actually sitting next to me, and she said your story really touched her, and she's going to keep you in her prayers.
Oh, thank you. Who's that? Who is that?
Spicy Cone.
Persico, is that right? Wow. I appreciate that. For all of you all, and you know, I'm a preference this for all of you who read my book. I am in good relationship with my mother. Okay, we had a good place and everything. So you all to know, I hated my mother growing up. Okay, hated her, and y'all think it's crazy. I hated her. That I those words was in my heart. Okay, because I wanted to hang out with my people. I wanted to do, but she kept a strong arm, and then all the crazy stuff that was going on in our home and everything. I really did. And then when I grew up and went in the military and I came back and got the opportunity to talk to her and ask her, you know, all the things I learned and discovered who she was and why. It doesn't justify, but it gave me a better understanding of who she was. But yeah, my mother's here in Louisville with me, and she's doing well and doing that. And her and that man, they got a divorce. They've been divorced over 20 years, and I'm in a good relationship with him as well. You know, and we, you know, just so you all know this as well, when he tried to come back in my life after my mother, he abandoned my mother. Okay, and he came back to try to read. It was my mother that told me because brothers, uh, I wanted to. I'm just gonna say it. I wanted to whip his ass. Okay. I mean, I literally, it was my mother that told me to relax and go listen to his side of the story. Because when he reached out to me and said that he wanted to come to Louisville to talk to me, it was over 15, 20 years. Um,
Who taught you to hate your own kind?
I wanted to harm.
Who taught you to hate the race that you belong
He abandoned
to?
my mother in the
So what
hospital, and
for
I
if
got
you
a
don't
phone
want to be
call
around
from
each
Grady
other?
Hospital that my mother was being abandoned. He divorced her in the hospital and everything. I mean, I got stories, but y'all, my story is so crazy. And I had I for him and everything. My mother asked me to hear his side, and I'm glad I did. The case is, but the fact is that I heard his side, and is no evil or madness and everything. Even though I will say this to you all,
When black people wake up
my two brothers,
and
my
become
siblings have nothing to do
intellectually
with neither one of their
independent enough.
parents. Now, I will say that they're younger than me. My brother and my sister will not talk to neither one of their mom and dad. So if that tells you anything,
And I
go ahead.
mean, no one would fault
Right, nobody.
you
Right, nobody.
if you had done the same or
Yeah,
continued the same. But you know that just speaks to character, a level of compassion. You know, I mean, bro, when we've talked, I said this before, but the Man Up program needs to come back. And it needs to go to state.
yeah,
The
that was a
Man Up
good program. I
program,
love Re-Up.
because
Re-Up should help you do that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, there's 5 principles that go along with the Man Up program, and you know it's powerful, and there's plenty of fruit under that program, and men that have come out that are married and successful through that program, and that needs to be that, you know, we need to connect and get people in different states and bring that program back, and it needs to be bigger than ever.
Yeah, the Man Up.
He got his hand up.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to say, go ahead, Negro. Hey, what's up, man? Right. Right. You're on point. Yeah, and that's what. Yeah, and that's what she read my book, or I don't think she read it, or horrible thing in my childhood, and drop it out there without no content, and just drop it. And man, it caused a fire among everybody. I mean, it also caused people to block me. She decided to come out and drop it the way she did it and everything. So, hey, Missy Boots, I see your hands up. I agree. I agree. That's what. Yes, go ahead. Yes. 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 Yeah. Thank you for asking that question. So prior to my mother coming to live with me, I was not in no real communication with her. Okay. Actually, I wasn't in any communication with neither one of them. I was in the military. I was doing me. I was married still to my first wife and everything. And I was doing me, doing what I was doing, and I really didn't have no contact with neither one of them and everything. We didn't have no relationship. Uh, what happened is that when my first wife, we did go see them. I saw how they were living. I come up a middle class, so I saw my mother and father living in Atlanta in a way that I was never used to seeing. They were living in the 2 bedroom apartment. They came from Haiti, and I'm on good. They were living way under the mean. I mean, way under the means that I was used to them seeing in. But I saw my father, he was, I saw him coming in, creeping late at night and doing all type of stuff. And my mother wasn't healthy. I mean, she was already having some mental issues in what she was going through. And the reason why I said I wanted to whip his butt, because I remember me saying to him, hey man, I see you doing what you're doing. As I see my mom, I said, if you plan on doing anything, I did. I said, if you plan on doing, you let me know before you do what you do. And I was just like, he looked at me. I said, I'm just saying, I see what you're doing. I recognize that mom ain't that healthy. I know y'all been married for a while, but if you plan on, let me know what you do. So and I left. And then had to have been 3-4 months after that, I get a phone call from Grady Hospital that he had, you know, put her in the hospital and divorced her, and while she was in a mental condition and everything, and after she got her treatment and everything, she had no place to go. And I get a phone call. This phone call to my house, well, I'm here in Louisville, Kentucky, was probably the best thing that happened to me, because my first wife and I, it wasn't, it wasn't happy anyway. I mean, this was crazy stuff was going on. So she knew. I already said pillow talk. She already knew my family condition. So when I got the phone call, that asked me where's she coming. She ain't coming here. I like, listen, we got a four. I mean, we got a 4 bedroom apartment, 2 car garage, Cape Cod. I'm living large in Radcliffe and everything. And my office is I like lay here. I listen. This is my mother. And she didn't want my mother to come to the house. I like look at this is my mother. I mean, just tell you right now, she's coming. So that was the so I did. I brought my mother back from Atlanta, and I moved her in with me and everything. And that was the start of me starting to learn a little bit of what all my mother went through. But it didn't happen immediately, because she was in a mess. She was had to have. I mean, she was having speaking voices. She was in a mess. She was in a bad place. So it took her a little while, but we did get there. And then I started learning so much about her life. Learned that her father raped her, her brothers raped her, and all this stuff. But here's some deep things that I found out about my mother that kind of she hated what her mother was a maid. My mother was born in the 1940s. She's the youngest of 12 kids. My grandfather passed as white. My grandma was tall baby black. So she told me stories of how granddaddy married grandma not because of love, but because his parents was passing as white. Okay, and he decided that he wanted his children to have melanated in their skin. So he died at 35, and he had, listen to this, they had a total of 18 kids. 18 kids, 12 of them lived. This man must have been touching my grandma every time she walked around. Did y'all hear what I said? Did y'all hear what I said? Okay. They had 18 kids, 12 of them lived. Yeah, 11 of them lived. Did y'all catch that? So uh, my mother hated her mother because she was a maid for the Nelsons, and she seemed to care more about the Nelsons being white, you know, in Miami Beach. There's people, I've been to the home and everything, a nice, beautiful home, but the whole family worked for the Nelsons. But my mother was a rebellious child. She would never do anything, but she hated white people. She hated them, and in her spirit, she came to hate white people, hate black people, religion, hate God, and everything. She had a problem with religion and everything. So I asked her, why didn't we go to church? And she told me, I didn't want y'all to go to church because, well, why would God allow my parents to go through what they did? And if there's a God, this is what my mother told me. If there's a real God out there, then I'm going to turn over to there. I'm not going to go to nobody's church, white man's church, anybody's church. I ain't doing it. And she held her gun. Okay? She did that. She would not go to anybody's church. She didn't care that. And, because of that, but then she picked a man that can provided her the lifestyle that she wanted. But my mother didn't work at all. She had no job. Okay, she was taken care of. Okay, by this gentleman, last name I had, because this is not my real father. He's my adopted father. And she found herself a man to keep her in the lifestyle that she wanted. So if you got to read the rest of the book, because I got 3 fathers. I won't tell all. I have 3 fathers. Okay, and I'll let y'all figure it out. I had my donor father. I had 2 other men, and the last man that she married, last name that I have and everything. And she picked this man to keep her in the lifestyle. Let me say this to y'all and to hear it. She picked this man, cleaned him up, and made him keep her in the lifestyle that she wanted. Did y'all catch that? But through all that, drugs and sex and all type of crazy stuff. Money don't solve your problems if you got problems. Okay, money only causes you to get caught up in more problems. Okay, just because I live well, but my house was a mess. I got some of my family, I got some of my friends who read my book, my childhood friends who read my book. Fro, he said, when he read my book, he said, man, because he was man, that explains why you was that way, man. Golly, man. All that was going on while you was growing. I said, yeah, man. Like, man, he would flow to know that I was going through all that. He said, you never told nobody. You tell no one, man, you didn't say anything. I said, yeah. He said, but it explains why you was so quiet. We used to talk, but he said, even when you used to smoke weed with us, because I was rebelling, I used to smoke weed, doing all type of crazy stuff, drinking and things. I was failing in school. I didn't have the desire to go to school. It's crazy. He said, but I do remember you used to say some stuff, man, but you kept that stuff, but you didn't talk. You didn't talk, even when you smoke weed and everything, man. He said you always get drunk and just, but you didn't use talk. He said, I guess you kept that stuff that you would not talk. I said, yeah, I would not talk. So I hope that answered your question. Yes, I going through spending some time with my mother. And the bottom line, I had to love her for what she did do for me. So here's the four things that my mother did do for me. Okay. And I tell her this all the time. Thank you for doing these four things. One, my mother decided to have me when my father, my donor father, did not want me. I learned he didn't want me. Okay, so she had me. Two, she gave me his middle name, my father's middle name, Mishon. It's his middle name. She gave me that damn name, Mishon, that caused me a lot of abuse growing up in Green, but it also helped me develop my character. Third thing she did, she kept me from blackness. Now, some of y'all may not appreciate this, but it is what it is. I'm not indoctrinated black from childhood to adulthood. I learned how to be black. I had to learn how to curse. There's a lot of things I had to learn how to be accepted, to be viewed as black. I learned that the color of my skin don't make me black. I had to learn how to. I had to get the swagger. I did a lot of things. I had to learn how to talk to the women. I mean, I had to do some stuff. And I'm not saying that the prerequisite of what I did to becoming black is I say it for everybody, but it's what got me in. The people started treating me and allowed me to hang out with them and everything, this and that. I had to go in. But with that being said, I also knew the problems with us culturally. See, it's a difference I say this again, it's a difference when you're indoctrinated into something and domesticated and brainwashed, going to the black churches, all this stuff, and you ain't never done any of that, and then you start going around it. You have an ear of paying attention to things that other people who don't even know that they're in. So I see things that many of you all do not see or don't understand. So when I changed my MOS and went into the medical field, I didn't go into the medical field with an inferiority being around all these, as y'all would say, white people. I went there to be the best surgical technician that I wanted to be, and I was a man, and I expected to get paid against my military. I expected to get paid based on what I brought to the table, not based on the color of my skin. So I always operate. I'm a man first, God darn it, and I'm a man with a skill. You better pay me for what I'm worth. So that's how I navigate it. I never use color or anything as a problem with me. I always operated that I'm deserving to get paid what I'm worth. Okay, period. God damn, if I bring something to the table and I'm good with it, you pay it. When I got into financial services, it was the same way. Investments, the same way. I was the same way. If I bring it to you, I expect to get paid what I'm worth. Okay. But I know that I never use color as a victim. I never allowed the color of my skin to victimize me to thinking that somebody needed to give me a handout so because of this and that. I only started talking about reparations and everything when I started realizing, and I mean, and when you hang out in the dominant culture, you start hearing that y'all sorry, you have done this to my demographic. So I started realizing. So I talk about reparation totally different to that. I say that we are owed an inheritance and not reparation. Reparation is a different conversation. Inheritance, when you know that this government kept all their wages, kept all everything, and then invested into the infrastructure and everything, into the infrastructure of the United States of America, into a corporation, that means that they're making money off of the dividends of money that they didn't pay out to anybody. That makes us shareholders of the United States of America as having a birthrights, and an inheritance. That's my conversation, okay? Because I recognize the dominant culture intentionally have not done their job, and that's a godly thing. God has said anytime anyone has been mistreated, God said He will repair them. God is responsible repairing us, not government. But we got to turn our life over to God, repair, and God would make this country do right by us. But that's what my book. I feel that we have not done a good job in holding. We have not done a good job. I think our ancestors were better at it than we gotten so far away from it. we had not been a good job in allowing and trusting and allowing God to do right by us and forcing this government to do right by us by our behavior, the things that we do. But I might be talking too long, but that's my story and that's my input. So anyway, I, I hope I ain't run nobody off.
Give us the fourth thing your mother did for you.
Oh, the fourth thing my mother did for me.
Wait. Can we hold a piece? No,
Huh?
I was saying, wait, can we hold a little piece for the interview? But now you can say what you want.
Oh. I'm a man to repeat it again because a lot of people not gonna be there. So that's fine. The fourth thing, she put me in the military, and I'd leave it as that, and I won't go no more. There's a lot that took place with this. Since we are gonna be interviewed tomorrow. Is that fair enough?
It sounds like a plan to me. But we may be under a different community, so don't be shocked if you come in and it does not say Re-Up and Co. I'm working some things in the back channel right now, but I do want to get it out to the largest audience as possible.
And that's okay. You do, yeah. You do. I'm excited. I'm excited for this opportunity. What you want to say, Joe?
It's. I mean, when I listen to, and I've heard the stories, even before the book was written, but when I listen to it time and time again, I keep thinking of the phrase "the gift and the curse." It was as if your mother was the gift and the curse.
Gift and the curse, man. I never heard you say that before, but that's the curse was in the beginning and the gift came later.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's a. Hey, you might want to give that a title. Pray more. Oh, that gift and the curse.
Gift and the curse.
Wow, brother.
Yeah, I was working around a few things. Right now it says Trauma to Triumph, a conversation, and it has the title of the book with your @name. But that sounds good as well.
Gift and the curse. I like that. Ooh, boy. It was a curse in the beginning, brother. I didn't recognize the gift until later, to keep it real. Pray more. That's a good way to oh man, Joe, man, look at you, man. Because it was a curse growing, man. That was
I wonder sometimes when I think about it, how many people in going through something like that, growing up, something like that, how many people would go back and forgive?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, how many people would do it? It's not a lot.
No, that's what's wrong with my brothers and sisters. You know what? Here, listen to this. I had my brother, my little brother. I love him dearly, and he's doing well. I mean, he's doing well. He ain't no squaring, no game. He's doing very well. My sister, she's not doing so well. Okay, but my little brother, but he said something to me that made so much sense to me. He said, "You left me." I want y'all to hear what my little brother said to me. You left. He said, once we was both adults and everything, he said, "You left me. You was my big brother, and when you left, you left me with these people." He said, I'm laughing. We can laugh about it, but he said, "You left me with these people." These people. He said, "It took me a long time." He said, and then he said the reason. He said, "I can't." He said, I don't know how you can forgive them for what they done." He said, and I was the youngest of both of y'all, and I was left. Both of y'all, you and Lisa. I'm so sorry, but you and my sister left, and I was left. I'd seen everything else. He said, "And you left me." And so he came and stayed with me, and he came and stayed with me while I was still in the military. And he owed me, and I get another emotional. He came and stayed with me for almost 3 years, and he went back to Atlanta. He turned his whole life, and then when we connected again, he's doing. I'm so proud of my little brother. I mean, he's his own self-made millionaire. That's all I can say. And he tells me, "Don't even talk about his crap." So I don't. They don't talk about what I'm doing, man. Yeah, I said, "All right, do what you do." Okay, but he said to me, he said, "Big bro, when I came and lived with you for those 3 years, 3 more years, man, it was the best 3 years I needed. He said, you were the dad. Mm. You were the dad that I needed to have. He said, I saw how you ran your household. I saw how you did things, man. I needed that. He said, man, you jacked me up when I disrespected your household, man, and you corrected me and everything. But I needed that. He said, you were the dad that I needed to know. Did you hear me? My little brother said I was the dad that he needed to know. Yeah, that's deep. Oh boy, I didn't know I was gonna get all this out, bro. Y'all. Hey, and then I'm gonna have an interview tomorrow. Whoo, boy.
We got Mr. Elder with his hand up.
Go ahead, Mr. Elder.
Hey, what's up? What's up, followers? What's up, everybody?
It's all good, man.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people's gonna accept your story, and there's gonna be others gonna be haters anyway, right? Um, Living the life you were living prior to the military, and then you went into the military. You have a family to lean on,
Right.
and maybe you didn't have that, right? But how instrumental was the military into changing your life, and maybe putting forgiveness on your heart, as far as when you considered your mother?
Well, military, Mr. Elder, you hit on it. That's exactly okay. Uh, um, it was the military going. The military. I mean, Joe says it. You know, you spend any time with me. What I do, Joe? Military was my dad. I mean, the military was my. Am I right, Joe?
And it's so funny because honestly, you would speak to the military, and a lot of us, we might have a little side wager going, like how long you think it's going to be before mentions the military. You know, because at first there wasn't that understanding, but after a while, I started to realize, I was like, oh, he speaks about the military
like
the way
my
that
dad.
I speak about my father.
Right.
I speak to the love I have for my father, and you speak to the military the same way the military was your dad.
Yeah.
It gives you a whole new purpose, you know what I'm saying? It teaches you values and courtesy and such, and it changes your life. You know what they say, well, when you go to sleep, there's a drill sergeant there. When you wake up, there's a drill sergeant there.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people hate the military, but I tell you what, if a lot of these kids, if there was a mandatory 3 years that you did, we wouldn't have the problem we're having today in society.
I say it all the time, man. I think our government I believe our government does this country an injustice by not forcing our young men to do 3 years, at least 3. Just 3. God damn it, give us 3 years, okay? I believe that if we did that, we would be a different United States of America. Keep it 100. I really truly believe that.
Yeah, the college should be paid for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have all this debt.
Right. We wouldn't have all this debt. I mean,
and they'd be more disciplined, more motivated, a better citizen all the way around.
All the way around. And I mean, I got to deal with my racism as well. I mean, I grew up, growing up in Miami, the military, you put in the barracks with everybody. You better figure it out. you better figure it out. Y'all better work together. You better figure it out and everything. And I think this country would be a better United States of America if we forced. I'm not just talking about this. I'm talking about males and females. God darn it! If you ain't in college, I don't even. I think it should be a mandatory. You got to give 3 years. Whether you go to college or not. Okay, but I think that this country does itself an injustice by not. The military saved me. Okay, with no doubt. Hey, Ms. Elder, I received. I got a. I know it's. We gonna talk about this all together, but I got a blanket party in the military, brother. I'm not gonna tell you why I told you. Make sure you bring that up. Why I got a blanket party. I won't tell it now, But I received the blanket party. It is and the fact of the matter is, I'm thankful that I received one. That's the deep part. I'm
I
thankful.
can just imagine.
Yeah. I'll tell it tomorrow. Remember,
Hard
I'll tell
heads,
it
right?
tomorrow. Huh?
Hard heads.
Yeah,
Hard
well,
heads.
it wasn't my hard head, but I won't tell it. It wasn't my hard head. I won't say. I'll tell it tomorrow and everything. Nah,
May I share that in the Jumbotron, y'all? The space for tomorrow for people to
sure.
go ahead and save it? Okay.
Yeah.
When I was on the trail, what I used to do, I used to take the most racist brother and the most racist cracker and have them holding hands. They be buddies all the way through basic. They had to know each other's family, blood type,
Right.
every damn thing. And they were like brothers at the end.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, the military does that to you, man. I mean, I am thankful for the military. The military made a boy into a man. Okay. And so those, that thing that mother put me in the military was those four things he did for me. I owe her that. Okay. But you know, I tell her, you got an F for parenting, Joe. I tell you get an F for parenting. Yeah, you get an F, 2 Fs for parenting. Okay. But those four things you get, thank you for doing that. But an F, mom, you get an F for parenting. But nevertheless, I would not be now here's the question. Okay, I'm talking. Joe, check this out. Which one of these four things that I would not, this is a question I've actually sat around and thought about this, if I could change my life, what would I want to change my life? Okay. Yeah, y'all ever thought about that? But I'm a survivor of something, okay? What if I did not survive? I'd probably be a different story, right? But when I think about it, what is it that I would change about my life if I wanted to, if I could change anything? I can't answer that now. Does that make sense? What you think, Carl?
Yeah, it makes sense because what you went through has made you who you are today.
No, I wouldn't want what I went through. I would not want what I went through to be on anybody else. But at this point right now, it's horrific at what I've all gone through. I've actually thought about what is it would I change today if I could change anything. I at this point now, I guess it has to do with the fact, I'm happy. I'm my wife. I mean, I'm living. I, I don't want for anything. I don't. I wouldn't. I'm happy. I'm doing well. I'm doing good. So if I change one thing, would that would alter? Would that alter everything?
What did Joseph tell his brother? What you meant for evil, God meant for good.
Amen. 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 So that's something to think about. That's kind of the conversations I have when I'm talking to young people and everything. Sometimes you got to embrace the trials and tribulations of your life. That's why when I talk about inheritance, some people, when I talk about inheritance that I believe it is owed to us, I'm not talking about the type of inheritance you may think I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you are right with God, because I want a major lawsuit, okay? And I got it because of my life and trial. I received an inheritance from God. It didn't come from I just positioned myself and was able to get a windfall. And not just that, my whole life I can literally see that I have received an inheritance by overcoming the things that could have taken me down. So when I'm speaking about an inheritance, I'm just saying to people that if you turn your life around and do the things you need to do to bear, overcome and everything, I truly believe that's what my second book, I Am Messiah. My second book, I Am Messiah, is about. I'm really talking about that each and every one of us can live the life that God wants you to live, but you got to overcome the trials and tribulations of your life. If you don't get anything out of anything that I'm talking about, I believe that I'm a living testimony of that. How in the hell did I was able to get through all that I got through and still today be able to say, I forgave my mother. I'm living well. My wife. Listen, and that's my testimony. That's my story. All right. So one thing about on our show, what time is it? We don't, because I thank each and every one. Hey, do you want to give about who we are and when we're gonna be back and everything? It seems like we're gonna be on another show tomorrow and everything. But tell everybody who we are, man, and why we do what we do. You joke or you joke?
Absolutely. This is the I Ain't Your Black show. This is the podcast that offers healing, insights, and epiphanies, discussing and reviewing everything others are afraid to talk about. It's all about what is right for us. I ain't your new black. I ain't your old black. I ain't your future black. America, I ain't your black. And of course, it's the host, Mr. Just Ask Joe and Uncle Me Sean, right here on I Ain't Your Black. We'll be back Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays. So we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be on the other space. You check it in the Jumbotron right now so we can join up and have a good conversation tomorrow. And we'll see what Thursday brings, because I don't know. You might be doing interviews all week, bro. Who knows? You there?
Thank y'all for letting me up and for letting me speak. This is going to be a powerful, powerful space tomorrow. So I hope everyone that's listening now will be able to join us. And if you have the time in between, go ahead and get that book, because y'all got plenty of time to read it between now and 7:30 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Thank you.
Me, Sean, I've watched you navigate through these Twitter spaces. They kick you off the island, but you like that Energizer Bunny. You just keep on going.
Absolutely. I think you must got some technical difficulties going on, but just the same as anybody else.
I'm here. Yeah, I was mute. Yeah, thank you, Carl. Yeah, I was kicked off the island, and I got. They ran me down and everything, but I stayed true and I stayed in there. So one of the things we're going to do, because to admit, even though I got all y'all on here, I'm going to have to cut and go off because I'm emotionally drained in a little bit and everything. This is a little overwhelming. I'm glad we got it out. We did this. I'm looking for nothing but positive things to happen here. For any of you that wants to get a copy of my book and everything, you go to UncleMeSean.com, or you can go to TimeToUnlearnToRelearn.com and everything, and you can find it there. But I'm just going to go ahead and say we will be back here, tomorrow and Thursday. I don't know what's going to be happening, but I hope this has been good for you, because it surely has been good for me. We like to keep it strong. We like to keep it intelligent. We like to keep it safe. We don't like to use all that profanity. We don't call nobody out their name, and I don't hate using the N-word and everything. So I appreciate each and every one of you hanging out with me, and let's continue growing this. This is to create a movement. It's create a change. It's about spreading love. We can all be the change that we want to see when we keep love in our heart. And that's Uncle Me Sean signing off, and talk to y'all tomorrow.
Peace.
Get ready for I Ain't Your Black. This is the podcast that offers healing, insights, and epiphany. Discussing and reviewing everything others are afraid to talk about. It's all about what is right for us. I ain't your new black. I ain't your old black. I ain't your future black. America, I ain't your black. And now, the host of I Ain't Your Black, Mr. Just As Joe and Uncle Mishore.
You gotta be like,
Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other.
When black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough
you.